Hello, good afternoon or good morning, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to my live stream. And on today's live show, a bit of a catch up around RP23 vulnerabilities and the latest story around them, new boards, and the new Wolf SSL library that's been released, plus some chat about my own projects, together with some behind the scenes chat around what's going on the channel, and of course, opportunity to interact and talk with you guys. So hi, I'm John, your concierge to the world of the Raspberry Pi Pico, Pico 2, IoT, robotics and other fun tech. Welcome to my channel. This is the live stream. It's a slightly more relaxed, slightly less content rich, perhaps, opportunity to interact a little bit more with those of you who are subscribing and watching my channel. So a bit of an inside view and of what's going on the channel as well, and all of that sort of stuff. Please do use that chat function to say hi, let me know where you are in the world, and say hello. I'd love to hear from you all. It's always good to know who's out there and that I'm not just talking to a blank screen. And if it's your first time watching the channel, thank you very much for joining. If you're returning, then thank you very much for coming back. I do appreciate it. I appreciate everyone watching. And please do like and subscribe. There's plenty of content out there these days. In fact, I think I'm getting so much content, it's beginning to get difficult working your way around all the videos. So I'm having to think about that. And that's something, you know, if you've experienced that and finding it difficult with finding videos in my large back catalogue, then do let me know, and that's something I really want to work out how to address. So how are you? I hope you're keeping well. I hope the projects are going well. I'd love to know what you're all working on. Please do let me know. It's always good to know what you guys are doing and what's inciting you. It might excite me too, and you know, we might be able to do something together or show some of your stuff on the channel, and I'd really love that. In order to keep things interactive, I'm going to once again pop over to the world of DevEco on Discord server after this, and I'd love to chat to you guys over there. Discord and the DevEco guys is a really nice server with a really nice community of quite experienced engineers, I think. Who can answer questions, and it's a place where I share and hang out from time to time. And after this live session, I'll hang out there for a bit and we can interact and answer some questions and chat. So as a little bit of an easier just chat on the screen sort of thing. The link is in the description, so go click it if you're not already on that Discord server. They would love to have you as members. And while we're on the subject of Discord, and perhaps a slightly more hobbyist and beginners sort of channel, check out the Simple Robotics IO Discord server. I've also put a link in the description, I think. I'll check that afterwards. And that they cover robotics, embedded IoT, basic breadboards, basic coding, AI, gaming, almost anything you can think, and that's a really good place for asking those really simple beginning questions. I mean, someone was asking around the wires to connect up between a motor and a breadboard and how to do that, and you know, they're really happy to answer even those sorts of questions. So it's a great place to ask questions and to get some help with those projects. And let's be honest, we all need help with those projects. Hi mate, thank you Vratislav for joining. Good to see you on the chat there. Let me know where you're joining from. Please do let me know where people are. I'd love to know and see how much of the world joins my my live streams. So anyway, Simple Robotics IO Discord server, recommend, a good place to go for beginners and chat. So what we got on today's show then, I guess we ought to get it going really. Well, I'm going to stick to my normal agenda, a bit of a catch up around what's going on in the world of the Pico in terms of news and ecosystems and any other pieces around that. Bits around projects, of course, my projects and what I'm sharing, what I'm working on at the moment. Some of the stuff you've already seen, because I tend to plug a little bit of the projects that I've actually put out there. But I'll also talk about some of the stuff I'm playing with behind the scenes that hasn't made it onto the channel yet. And some of it may never make it onto the channel. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. And then a bit of back story around what's going on around the Dr. John EA channel, my plans and thoughts, and some questions with potentially some answers. Got a couple of canned questions this time that I've set up ready to answer. But if there are any live questions, then please do bung them into chat and I will see if I can answer them. If not, I can bring some answers back at a later point and stuff. But I'd love to have your questions, and perhaps some other people on the channel would also be able to answer us. So always good to get us all our thoughts and stuff. So let's start with some of that news around the Pico and other exciting tech as I see it. Well, I guess the first bit I'm going to say is about the RP23 and vulnerabilities. So Raspberry Pi have been running competitions trying to get people to hack the new RP2350 for some while. If you remember, there was a 10k prize for anyone who managed to break into the OTP, the one-time programmable memory, and the secure boot process on the RP2350. They've just published the findings from all of that work and stuff, and I guess and they have published 3 potential attacks that you could have against the chip. Now, don't worry, this doesn't mean that the RP2350 is rubbish and other chips that and chip manufacturers are much better. All chips have vulnerabilities in one way or another. All chips have bugs in one way or another. Not every publisher actually, or every chip manufacturer mentions them or publishes them, but that doesn't mean they're not still there. So Raspberry Pi are very open with what they talk about, and that's good, because actually security is about being open about vulnerabilities so that we can avoid them, really. Now, the really good news about the access to these vulnerabilities is they all actually require access to the chip. So basically, at this point, someone has got their hands on your device and that chip, and they're able to do some really, really quite nasty things close up to that chip. Now, in a lot of situations, if they've got that far, you might have a bigger problem. Certainly, if it's chips around my, or devices around my house or devices around my workplace or environment, and someone's actually got one and got that level of access to it, yeah, perhaps they've already penetrated quite a lot of security to get to that point. So perhaps I shouldn't be too worried. Further still, they all require basically glitching the power supply in one sense or other, either glitching directly the supply going to the chip, or applying some sort of magnetic induction interference right on top of the chip. In order to basically, you're trying to fool the chip that it's actually done things that it already that it hasn't, and that statuses have changed, so that actually you can get into different parts of the chip. And that's what all of those vulnerabilities were about. And there's 3 examples that they've written up. I've put a link to the full story on there to read. It is quite technical. Excuse me, my throat's going a bit. It's really quite technical even for me to follow the level of that, and it's beyond anything that I would ever think of doing to a chip. So, but it's a good read if you want to go and read that and have a look at what you can potentially do to a chip to be able to glitch it and to get access. So staying with the RP2350, I guess the other nice thing I noticed is some new launches. So I've noticed that Waveshare have launched an RP2350 version of their Touch. So this is I played with the RPE 2040 Touch. It was what I used for my Advent calendar project at Christmas. So the RP2350, basically it's just replacing the 2040 with the 2350. Why have they done that? I guess the additional memory for frame buffers, etc. makes a lot of sense. I noticed they've done that for the 1.28 inch version and the 1.6, I want to say 8, but I can't remember if it's 1.68 inch. This slightly bigger sort of rectangular screen as well. Really nice devices, really good to play with, and nice to see. I'm sure I will get one and have a play with it at some point. So yeah, all good to see those coming out. Other things that are out and new, well, on the 31st of December, Wolf SSL released their latest version of their TSL library, and I use their TSL library a lot. It's, in my view, the best documented TSL library on the planet for doing any of that sort of SSL security and securing HTTP or MQTT, all those sorts of protocols. So I use it quite a lot in my demos and things. So what's interesting about the new version is there's actually an official port of it to the RP2040 and RP2350. Now I've been using their library on the 2040 and 2350 for 2040 for several years, and 2350 for at least as long as it's been out. So that's great that they've got official ports now onto those, which is nice. What does that really mean? Well, there's not a great deal in there, apart from a little bit of configuration, and they've interfaced nicely and properly to the random number generator on the Picos in a secure way, and done that perhaps better than I would have. So that's perhaps a good reason for using version 5.7.6 and moving to use that. I probably should do a demo of it and that. What's unfortunate, I think, and a shame really, is they haven't used some of the new capabilities on the RP2350 and integrated that into the library. But okay, early days, perhaps a future release. But anyway, I'll come back and have a look at Wolf SSL's new version and perhaps do a deep dive onto that at some point soon. So those are the big stuff I saw. Was there anything I missed? Let me know, guys, if there's any big stories I missed that I should be talking about. I'm not omnipotent. I don't miss everything. I do scan the net for stuff coming up and try and bring it to you guys. But if I've missed stuff, please do let me know. So let's talk about projects, and I always start by talking about the projects that I've been working on and stuff that I've shared with you guys on the channel. So you might have seen some of this stuff before. So I guess the first one I guess we could talk about is I talked about the powering the weather station and my weather station project. So this is going to be a Wi-Fi. Well, this is going to be solar and LiPo battery powered weather station out there communicating with my network via Wi-Fi. That's the plan. That video I talk a bit about my battery selection, and there have been some great comments and great advice on batteries on that after that video, which is really helpful for me because yeah, this is probably my first LiPo and solar powered project, and there are some of that part adds quite a lot of complexity, that and going into deep sleep on a Pico, which is quite tricky. So take a look at that video, all good stuff, and that project will progress a little bit slowly at the moment, but it's coming. I also had a chance to chat to Jonathan Pallant, who's one of the guys behind the Pico 2 Rust implementation that came out at launch. So he had Pico 2s available about 6 months before and was able to actually get the whole Rust ecosystem working on the Pico 2. And we had a really good chat, and there's some really good insight into both Rust and the challenges of porting and how that all came about. He's a lovely guy, based in the UK. So go take a listen to that video and that fireside chat. I really enjoyed chatting to him. And it inspired me to do some more Rust stuff. Don't worry, there will be more Rust stuff coming. On the subjects of beginning, I did a little bit of a video that's been out there, just been out there, around where to begin on your journey into the Raspberry Pi Pico or Pico 2 ecosystem, and how to start this wonderful world of development and having fun with this as a hobby. So please do go check that one out too. And finally, I turned my Raspberry Pi Pico into a GPS module. Or into a GPS, using a GPS module, and show how easy that is and how I could actually find its location. Even did my first broadcast or part of the recording away from my study, which was different and interesting, but yeah, necessary, because I didn't really want to give you guys a pinpoint accuracy position of where I live. That probably wouldn't be a really great idea. But anyway, we went out to the British Engineering, which is not that far from where I live, and I was able to show that location being found by my GPS module. So go take a look at that video. It's good fun to record. So what have I been up to, and what's of my projects have I been actually working on, why those things have been out there? Well, I work a bit in advance. So actually, the last week I've been doing the recording and editing of all of my projects, or all the things coming up for February. So this is things like looking at web servers on a Pico 2W, to looking a bit more at the RM2 module. That's the Wi-Fi piece that sits on the end of a Pico 2W or a Pico W. And actually you can buy now as a separate breakout board. So what can we do with it as a separate breakout board? Stay tuned on the channel and you'll find out. A couple of beginners or beginner-ish videos looking at switches, because I've realised I've not really ever talked about switches and how to read switches on the channel. So I've done a video now on that. They'll be coming out. And then looking at how I could then bring that to, to Switch Matrix, so little keypads. And my friends at Senti Labs sent me one of their RP2040 boards that can handle USB-C PD 3.1, so power distribution, which means that you could actually choose to work on something other than 5 volts. So I demonstrated that at the local Breaking Breadboards group. It showed, actually I could pull up to 20 volts through the USB cable to my board, all controlled by an RP2040. It's quite interesting. So stay watching to see that video as well. So that's all the videos coming out in February, which all are fun, all good stuff, I hope, and I hope you'll enjoy them. So meanwhile, in the background, I've also been working on my AstroDroid project. It's still quite early days, but I'm working on the motor control. I have a PCB for motor controllers have turned up from PCBWay over in China. So I've got that, so I'm working on that, making sure that works, trying to get it integrated into ROS2. I did a bit of ROS2 work on that this morning, which was fun. And all actually worked really smoothly for once, which is always nice. But not common. I'm sure you all find that with your projects too. So yes, AstroDroid is coming. And I've got a couple of other little bits of project work around that as well. The other one I suppose I also have started having a look at is RFID, and trying to do a bit of an RFID reading from a RP2040. Has anyone else done that? Because I've got one of those Samsung smartwatches, and you know, I was wondering what integration I could do between the smartwatch and an RP2040. So far, I've managed to read the ID of the device, but not much more. Certainly not managed to put any data on it or anything. If anyone else has got further with playing with Picos and smartwatches via RFID, let me know. And near-field devices, I'd be interested to know what can be done and what will work and what won't work. So please do get in touch. So those are the projects. I'd love to see some of your projects as well. It would be great to share some of the stuff that you guys are doing. Please do get in touch, and we can and I can make that happen. So let's chat around what's going on around Dr. John EA's world and the channel. So as always, I'll talk about the broadcast schedule. So we're going to continue doing my full vlog coming out on a Thursday at 1400 GMT. Sorry, that says BST. We're definitely in winter now. That should send GMT. Apologies for that. And then I'll do continue doing the summary for that on the Tuesday. I think people still like the summary, and of course you can go back from the summary to watch the full video. The summaries are generally around 3 minutes if I can cut it down that much. Sometimes they're really hard. I mean, the conversation with Jonathan Pallant around Rust, taking what was basically an hour's worth of content, which I then cut down to 40 minutes for the vlog, and then cutting it down again to 3 minutes for a summary. God, it's tough. I appreciate the guys who managed to do that on news feeds and things. It's very difficult, I found, but I'll try and do it and try and keep doing that, and tell me if they're not useful to you guys. Always feedback's always good. And then Sunday broadcasts. So as you've probably seen, I've been a little bit lax on Sunday stuff coming out, and there hasn't been much recently. So still keeping with the monthly live stream, and then I'm doing an edited version of the live stream to make sure I just cut out the bits of me wittering on too much or drinking water or all those bits, and just make sure that there's a slightly more polished version that goes out on that as well. I might go back to doing some shorts on Sundays. Don't know. I'll see how that goes. I'll see how that goes. I definitely think that, you know, I get the vast majority of people who watch seem to watch the full vlog and the full content, and that seems to be the real engagement point. So that's definitely my focus. I'll balance the other things, and I'll experiment a bit. So keep an eye out, see what I experiment in. So please do remember that I've got that super thanks buttons on the channel, where I add, you know, value when you think I'm doing a good job and you want to give me a tip. They are always gratefully received, and you know, there's that button there, and I normally put a payment link in the description as well. I'm not sure I put that payment link in the description of my live stream. Perhaps I'm missing a trick and I should do that. I'm collecting the money up to help get myself to the open source conference in San Francisco, which is a big maker and YouTuber and developer conference that I'd really quite like to get to if I can. It's running about 18th to 20th of July, I want to say from memory. Yeah, we'll see if I can get there. I know my friends at DevEco are also going, so you know, there is real pull to do something there. And you know, if I get there, I'd love to see you guys there, and hang out. That would be cool. And more locally to me in the UK, Maker Central's happening in Birmingham, May 17th and 18th. I'm talking to some of my other maker and YouTuber friends about potentially whether we can do something together and we can host something there, and how that might work. I don't know. Are you going? What's your thoughts on Maker Central? Is it something that interests you if you're in the UK? Indeed, are you in the UK? where are you guys? Please let me know. I'd be interested. So Maker Central could be fun. Please remember, I've got a whole load of Udemy courses out there which take a slightly more tutorial-based process of building your learning and development through the content, rather than YouTube, where I very much focus on a specific thing or a specific project and try to give you that in 30-40 minutes. YouTube video courses are 3 to 6, 9 hours, and build you through that. And I've got a lot of them out there. And I'm doing a bit of updating at the moment. So I'm going back to my FreeRTOS course and trying to migrate that over to the new ported version of FreeRTOS that Raspberry Pi Foundation have put up for the RP 2040 and RP 2350. So I'm trying to sort that out at the moment. All takes a bit of work, that to get the code across, work out what needs to change in the videos, which videos I'm going to edit, how I'm going to do that, how I then release that content without disturbing people already flowing through the course, and all of those sorts of things. But yeah, please do check out Udemy for my courses. Much appreciated. And also watch me and follow me on social media. I'm expanding my social media. I've joined Blue Sky. Quite like Blue Sky. Seem to have some little bits of chats on Blue Sky. It's quite nice. That and LinkedIn seems to be quite active. And yeah, I'll keep posting stuff onto those. So please do follow me. Please tell me which channels you like to use and where you like to be, because there is so many social channels these days. I'm not sure I can be on all of them. And I'm not sure whether I want to be on all of them. Some of them I'm not so keen on being involved in, but yeah. The whole political world that is social media. So let's get ourselves to some Q&A, shall we? So if you're watching live, and I presume some of you are, please do feel free to ask any questions. Can be anything you like on the live stream. And I would be delighted to try and answer it, from technical questions to what on earth, what the weather's like in the UK here at the moment, which the answer is rubbish, and it always is. But anyway, I wanted to chat about a couple of questions that are coming on the channels about some bugs. So I've made a mistake, and I've caused a little bit of a bug, and I then reproduced that bug in a whole load of my code. So some of you who've looked at my code will know that I generally look at standard I/O over UART on the Pico, and I normally redefine the UART port to be of course UART 0, which has to be, but actually on the pins 17 or 16 and 17. And the reason I do that is because it's nice and close to the back of the Pico, which means that the SWD and the UART pins are basically all going out around the same place, and leaves the rest of the Pico free for me to plug other things into without crossing cables, and make it a little bit clearer to know what's going on. Now, unfortunately, I've gone and flipped those two, the TX and RX, around in my definition in that same make. Now, if you've read code and you know how the Picos work, you probably know that doesn't actually make any difference, because what you're actually doing is setting the function for those pins to UART, not to UART RX or UART TX. But the problem is that on the latest version of the SDK 2210, it now checks those and says, you've got them wrong, I won't compile. And that's a bit of a pain, and I'm sorry about that, and that is my fault, and you need to go in and edit them. And slowly I am fixing this on older repos, and yes, that's the bug. So if you see in my code, this is what it should state. So TX should be 16, RX should be 17. Sorry, I apologize for getting this wrong. Yeah, that is my bad. Another bug that is coming up in some of my projects, particularly well, anything using Wi-Fi and FreeRTOS, is that you now get an error from the code saying FreeRTOS has panicked and it's done a hard assert. Yeah, this is a little bit annoying and a little bit frustrating, I know. And if you come into my code and you compile the example and it does that, yes, that not nice, not nice at all. Now, please be nice to me when you find this, particularly because actually this isn't my bug. This is a bug in the Pico SDK 2.10. If you run it on previous versions of the SDK, particularly 1.5.1, it will work absolutely fine. They've basically forgot to do some initialization on some of the data structures, which is a bit of a schoolboy error, really. And that's causing them to basically then try and go through a loop and actually allocate on the IRQ handler twice, which then causes the whole thing to fall over and say, no, you're not allowed to do that, because you're not allowed to do that. I explained the fix to the bug in my video on the Pico 2W hands-on. So go check out that video. That tells you a little bit more about that bug and how to get around it and fix it. But sorry if you have tried some of my stuff and you've come across that bug, apologies. But it's not my fault. It's actually the guys over at Raspberry Pi who made it up. But anyway, they know about it. It's going to be fixed. It is fixed, I think, in the head. It's just not fixed in 2.10. Well, it won't be fixed in 2.10. I don't think there's another patch version that's come out yet. And when that patch version does come out, that should fix it. So those are the canned questions I had in advance, and I don't see any questions at all on the live chat at the moment, unfortunately. So no live chat dialogue and conversation to have. Oh, never mind, next time perhaps. So, well, that's nearly getting us to the end of the live stream for today. That's really all I've got for you. So I will do another live stream in February. I'm planning that for 23rd of February at the moment, so keep that date free. I'd love to see you on the live stream and to hear your questions and stuff. Let me know if you think of anything you'd like to see on that live stream, or you'd like any projects to share, or you have any questions. Please do let me know in advance and I can sort some of that out. Please do like the video and please subscribe. And until then, please do keep tinkering and having fun. But before you go, remember, I'm going to jump over now to the DevEco channel for an after show party. So if you'd like to join me there and have a chat, or I think please do come over now and we can talk. And I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you very much. Bye-bye for now, and I will see you next month.